Rasmus Holt. I'm putting up a video of my Stamina Dragon Knight DPS build. I've been asked to do this a couple of times by guildmates and somebody on YouTube, so yeah, let's go through it quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining why I've chosen the different things I've chosen. I don't want the video to get too long, so I'm going to show you what I use, and I'll quickly tell you why I use it. I'm not going to explain what the abilities do. You can go and check that out for your own. So first of all, I'm a Dragon Knight, and I am a Dark Elf. And the reason I'm a Dark Elf is for this. As a Dark Elf, you get these 3 abilities, and it's pretty good. Like, you get 6% max stamina and 6% max magicka. And as a Dragon Knight, you use stamina and you use magicka, so you need this. Also, I'm a vampire, and as a vampire, we all know, you lose a lot of flame resistance, especially if you go into the late phases. So this is very useful as well. It gives you 2016 flame resistant and also increase your max magicka by 3%. As a Dragon Knight, you also get 7% spell damage with fire attacks, which is also very useful because a lot of attacks from Dragon Knights are fire. So yeah, that's my race, and that's why I'm a Dark Elf. You could choose to go other ways. Like you could easily make Imperial or an Orc or a Red God. But I choose the Dark Elf, and that's also because, like, as a Dark Elf, you can choose a lot of different ways to go with your build. I don't have to be a two-handed build every time. I can go with this Destruction Staff, or I can go as so many different builds with a Dark Elf. So yeah, I'm gonna go through my skills quickly. Your first attack, and this will be your main attack, which you will use like 80% of the time, is Wrecking Blow. Like, I'm not going to explain too much about Wrecking Blow, but I'm just going to say this. It is a very, very strong single target DPS, and it also stuns. So this is a must-have as a two-handed. It is your main attack. You will use this all the time. Secondly, I got Camouflage Hunter. Now, because I'm using Wrecking Blow so much, I am not really using any other attacks except for maybe Executioner and Critical Rush. But mainly you will be using Wrecking Blow. So I've put in Camouflage Hunter for this reason. It gives you 10% weapon critical when it's on your bar, and that is extremely useful because you're pretty much only using Wrecking Blow to get down people. So having 10% extra critical rating is very good. The third ability is Executioner. Executioner is your execute ability. It's the ability you use if you have to kill somebody who's low HP and you have to kill him fast. Yeah, for obvious reasons, you have to have it slotted, and it deals 18% extra damage to low health targets. This is extremely good. Like, yeah, you pretty much use this ability just to kill people. My fourth ability is Rally. Rally is a buff that you put on and you gain 20% weapon damage. This is extremely useful, of course. You want to do as much damage as possible. You should always try to have Rally up just before you go into a battle or in the middle of a battle, just to make sure you always get the heal and you always have the 20% extra weapon damage. Yeah, as I said, it also heals you. Very, very useful. If you're a two-handed user, this is an ability you must have. The fifth ability, Critical Rush. Critical Rush is a PvP ability. I only use this ability when I'm in PvP. Critical Rush pretty much ensures that nobody can get away from you. The further you're away from your target, the more damage you're going to do, and Critical Rush always, it always crits. So having Camouflage Hunter in this bar and Critical Rush together, you're going to do huge damage. I've crit up to 10,000, like I've almost one-hitted rank 14s with this ability. It is extremely strong, and it doesn't cost that much, and it's extremely fast to use. Okay. So for my ultimate ability, Ferocious Leap. Now, if you're a Dragon Knight, this is the ability, this is the ultimate you want for PvP. Like, there is no other ultimate who does this that does as much as this ability does. Like, it's a very low cost ultimate. You can pop it, like in big battles, you'll pop it multiple times. It stuns everybody you hit it with and like knocks them back, and also deals 10,000 physical damage. This is the ultimate to have. Like, if you want to copy this build, you need this ultimate. It also gives you a damage shield, which absorbs 6% of your max health in damage over 6 seconds, which gives you a damage shield that makes you pretty much very tanky. And with this build, you're not the most tanky you could be. You're not a glass cannon, but you go down pretty easy if you get hit by Ice Comet or Crystal Fragment and stuff like that. Okay, so that's the main DPS bar. Now we're going to my support bar, and this is my bow bar. I use bow because this is my bar where I need to escape, I need to kite, and with bow you gain this called hasty retreat. I do not use any other. Like you can see, I have no skills in any other, but this one, this passive. Increase your movement speed by 30% for 2 seconds after you executed a dodge roll. With this build, all you're gonna do is dodge roll. You're gonna dodge roll all the time. You're gonna be very, very active with your dodge roll. You're gonna be very mobile, and you need this ability, especially if you're going to kite people, which you will have to do sometimes in this build. And if you play it like I play, you will get into 1 versus X, like 1 versus 5, 1 versus 10, all the time. And you won't be able to take them all on at the same time. The way to do this is kite them around, wait for them to run out of resources. If somebody gets too far ahead from the others, turn around, kill him instantly. This is the way to play this character. Okay, so yeah, that's why I'm choosing a bow. You could go with shield and sword if you want to. You could go with any other thing. It's up to you. This is just your support bar. This is the bar you use to get away from people and buff up and heal. Okay, so let me explain this. I am a vampire, and the reason I'm a vampire is these 3 reasons. Elusive mists. Yeah, this is like escape ability. You can use this offensively, you can use it defensively, you can use it if you see somebody putting a meteor on you, you can go in here and yeah, that'll take away 75% of the damage. I use it mostly to get out of situations you would normally die in. Yeah, so that's why I'm using a vampire. Also, as a vampire, if you go below 30%, the people who are attacking you, that damage is gonna be reduced by 33%. This is extremely useful. And the last one is this, Darkstalker. I am a hunter in this game. I hunt people. Like, I stealth and I kill them. That's what I do. I like this. And you need Darkstalker if you do this, because you pretty much, yeah, like, look how fast I run right here. Now I go in stealth. I run just as fast in stealth. You need this ability. It's very good. So that's why I'm a vampire. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it anymore. Oh, fuck. Nobody saw that. So yeah, that's why I'm a vampire. My second ability is Green Dragon Blood. This is your self heal. It gives you major endurance and major fortitude, increasing your max health and stamina by 20% for 23 seconds. It also heals you for 33% of missing health. So this ability is something you would like to use as when you're as low as possible. Just before you die, you need to pop this ability. And together with Igneous Shield, which I use always before I use Green Dragon Blood, you will gain pretty much full HP back. So that's my second ability. My third ability is this. It's called Caltrops. It's in the Assault line. Caltrops is, yeah, if you don't know it, you throw out like some nails, reducing enemies inside it, their movement speed by 70% and dealing 1000 physical damage a second. This is an extremely useful ability, both in PvE and PvP, especially maybe in PvP for group fights. It allows you to, yeah, pretty much decide how your enemy is going to move on the battlefield. I use this ability in PvP solo, not that often. I do use it, especially if I know there's a stealth around, because it pops stealth if they get hit, of course. But yeah, that's why I use this one. Then again, Igneous Shield. I talked about this one before with Green Dragon Blood. Always pop this one before you use Green Dragon Blood, because it gives you a 30% extra healing for 7 seconds. It also gives you a damage shield of up to 3000, so it's very useful. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this one. Again, down in Assault, we got my last ability, and it's called Retrieving Maneuver. Retrieving Maneuver is the ability you use to get around in Cyrodiil. Cyrodiil is a huge fucking map, and it's a fucking pain in the ass just running around without having that speed on. Like, put it on, go away. Like, you will run much faster, you get to the places you want to go much faster. It's just a good ability to have. Like, I might swap it out for something in the future, especially if I'm doing PvP in groups, because then it's not as useful. But for a solo point of view, this is a very useful ability to have, especially if you want to get away from people or you want to catch up to people. Okay, my last ultimate on my support bar is this one, and this is probably my favorite ultimate in the game. I don't use it as much because it's rather expensive, and it's really not that good for offensive reasons, but it pretty much just makes you invulnerable to dying for 10 seconds. Yeah, you cannot die when you have this on unless you have like 1,000 people hitting you. And it also makes you ignore people's armor, so if you want to one-hit somebody, this is a fun ability to pop. Go in, pop this one, and do a wrecking blow, and I'll pretty much ensure you that the person you hit is gonna die, especially if it's a low health target like a sorcerer or nightblade. So this is my abilities that I use, like my main bar with my two-handed mace and my support bar with my bow. Now I'm gonna go through my the stuff I'm wearing, my gear. First of all, I am using the White Strike set, and the reason I'm doing this is because White Stripes gives you some survivability, and you need this especially for PvP solo. It gives you the 5 item bonus gives you a 10,000 damage shield for 8 seconds, and it can occur every 15 seconds, which is a very low cooldown. Yeah, you need this for obvious reasons. So yeah, if you want to cover my build, you will need this one. I'm gonna go through my two-handed again, and the reason I'm choosing a mace is because maces ignore 20% of the people you're hitting's armor, and together with the sharpen trait, which increase armor and spell penetration by 14%, you will ignore 34% of your opponent's armor. This is extremely useful. Like, you will see the damage being higher using this one instead of a sword where you only gain 5% extra melee damage. It's not that useful. I use swords for certain, like maybe PvE instead of PvP, but for PvP I always use the mace. So I use White Strikes 5 pieces, my chest, my waist, my hands, my feet, and my weapon. For my jewelry, I use the Shadow Walker. Now this is a very expensive set, and you will need to do a lot of PvP to get it, or get lucky and find it on the guild store. But yeah, it's a very good set. I'm not going to go into why I chose this one. You can go ahead and look at the skills yourself, and yeah, but this is the one I'm using. I'm also using the Shadow Walker legs, so the 4-piece bonus with the jewelry and the legs. On the shoulders and the head, and this is optional, you don't have to do this. I am wearing the Ancient Guardian set. Like, it's a very useful set, especially in PvP, but you could also go with the Bloodspawn set from the Undaunted. It's an optional choice. Either one will do, yeah, will be good. So that's what I'm wearing with my gear, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Champion points I'm not gonna go into. You can pretty much figure that out for yourself. Like, it doesn't matter that much. It's up to you what you like to do. But yeah, that's pretty much my build, and if you have any questions or you want me to go into more details, just write a comment below, and yeah, I'll find me in game and join my party, and I'll go through my build more detailed. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.